Welcome to Slow and Steady, the podcast where you get to follow along as we figure out how to build and run a SaaS. I'm Benedikt.
And I'm Brian. Each week, we'll give you an honest peek into our lives as we work on our products and keep the lights on by opening an Etsy store. Today is December the 15th, and I'm feeling relaxed.
This is episode number 70, and I'm getting sick, I think.
Oh no. Dude, yeah, you're all bundled up over there.
Yeah,
You got the scarf on and the sweater.
Scarf on, but I mean, it's basically just, well, you put a scarf on, and if you're inside, you instantly look sick.
Well, I mean, I hope it's just a sore throat or a cold. It's a weird time to just kind of get the sniffles or a sore throat, you know?
Yeah. You basically immediately start to question everything.
Yeah, where have I been? Where have I thought? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but other than getting groceries, I haven't left the house in weeks.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I think I'm good on the COVID front.
Right. Well, yeah, we will. Hopefully so. Yeah, we've had a couple things where it's like, just feel a little bit down or like, sniffles or something. It's like, oh my gosh, that's just allergies. Right? That's allergies.
Yeah.
It's a weird time, dude. What's up on your end? We talked a bit about customer interviews and trying to get to the root of some stuff. How's all that going?
Yeah. As I said last week, Jane's doing a stellar job with just talking to a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
I think overall she did 13 interviews last week.
Wow.
And already did a couple more this week. And like all of them are interesting. Like the notes are interesting to read. But there's no clear winner. Like it sounds like it's not a question of what of the things we have in mind we should build, but basically it's about the priorities and the order.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like we have to do everything, but maybe we can do some stuff first and the other stuff in the future. I don't know. It's just weird.
What are the types of things that people are saying that you're having that feeling of, oh gosh, we need to do all of these things. What order do we do it in? What are the sorts of problems that they're talking about?
Yeah, so the marketing stuff comes up from time to time, that people, they just want to use one tool for everything. Like in an idea, just one email tool for all their email concerns, like marketing email, everything educational, newsletter, and even like transactional emails inside the application. Like dream setup for, I think for most of them or all of them, would be to just like have one service that just handles everything. The other thing that comes up is customer support and chat. Like you either want it or you don't want it. So a couple people are definitely looking for a solution there and are not happy with what they have right now.
Mm-hmm.
So that comes up. And also what was surprising in a way was that admin dashboards are a topic. Like a couple of people are, well, don't have an internal dashboard or something where they can just see what's happening in the user accounts and what they're doing. So this has been something Jane brought up as a discovery from the calls. But I'm not entirely sure if we're in a position to solve any of that. Because it's like, I feel like dashboards or like app specific dashboards are very, very unique, and it's hard to generalize them into a software as a service solution. So I'm not entirely sure what to do about that. And then the last thing that I can remember from reading in the notes is like CRM tools. Like a lot of people are just like need a CRM tool of sorts. And what was a bit surprising was that a lot of people we are interviewing actually using HubSpot for this, which already does like CRM plus a million other things.
Right.
Just gets super expensive if you want to do all of it. But I hadn't expected it to hear it that often. It's apparently pretty common. So yeah, that's it. So far, at least, as I said, like no, it's not like there's one obvious thing to pick.
Right.
So I think we'll just wait a little longer and do some more interviews, and then in the end, just look at what we got and decide on something.
Yeah, exactly. It sounds like, yes, we need a CRM, email service provider, analytics tool, and customer support chat widget. Can you build all of those things in one place and charge me $79 a month? Like,
yeah, exactly. That sounds like what everyone's looking for. Yeah, that's pretty accurate, I guess.
Man, that's pretty interesting. There's I think I even have it on. Yeah, the personal MBA by Josh Kaufman.
That's a great book.
Yeah. Is it in there where he or is he the one that talks about pretty much all of businesses bundling and unbundling? And that it's just it's a cycle of somebody comes along, bundles everything together. They do them. People need it, but nobody can do them all great. And so they get all unbundled. And so Mailchimp and ConvertKit can exist, and et cetera, et cetera. And then those things get expensive and overdone. So somebody's like, "Hey, we can do all these things, but super simple. Rebundle them." I have no idea how you do Mailchimp in a simple way and offer a customer support chat widget. Like, those are both their own entirely giant businesses.
Yeah, exactly. That's the part I'm super concerned about.
Yeah.
Like, all of these problems sound like super large problems to solve.
Right. Yeah.
It's just the two of us right now. It feels like
Exactly.
every direction we could possibly go into feel like a huge mountain of work that we have to tackle.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Like, how to, even if you could imagine like a genie or some wizard gives you a magic wand and boom, you have the whole product just given to you, supporting it as a small team would be nearly impossible. Yeah. So even if you could build it, a small team can't support it.
Yeah. And I was pretty optimistic last week. This week, and this might be the sickness speaking out of me. This week, I just feel burned out and tired, and I just don't want to work on any of this right now.
Oh man, I'm sorry. That's a crummy feeling. Yeah, maybe you just need some chicken soup and a couple good nights of sleep, and then
maybe maybe this is a good time to just take a break.
Yeah. Are you planning on taking some time off next week for the holidays or anything?
Yeah, probably. I think I should. I haven't really planned for it because like all our Christmas plans are canceled.
Yeah,
we were planning to visit my girlfriend's parents, but Germany's going into a full lockdown tomorrow, and I think technically it would still be allowed to see them, but it just doesn't feel like a good idea. So
yeah,
we canceled all our Christmas plans, and with that, all plans of taking time off got canceled as well. In a way, at least it doesn't matter anymore. Like, I'm at home, so I work from home these days. It just doesn't make a difference.
Well, you gotta.
But yeah, you're right.
Boundaries. That's what I've learned is I'm not very good at it, and it burned me out.
Yeah, exactly. I think I should probably take a couple of days off at least and just do nothing.
Yeah.
And if I really get sick, then it will be forced on me.
In a way. It'll be enforced on you. Yeah. No, I think it's totally important. One thing that some school districts over here have been doing, and just sent out like communication to parents is, hey, we know that we're online, we're learning online, but snow days are just a really magical thing about being a kid. And so
Mhm.
if there is a snow event that we would have canceled school for, we are going to cancel school. And so even though you're at home and we're not sending buses anywhere and none of y'all are going out, if there's a snow day, it's a snow day. And so,
Cool.
you know, you're at home, you're going to stay at home. That doesn't mean you shouldn't take off for the holidays or for what.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
so
What else you got going on? Any other development stuff to
yeah,
share
things
about?
are just going slow. I feel like even before getting sick or starting to feel sick, I just was low on energy.
Mm,
Didn't get a lot of things done, at least compared to previous weeks where I was on a
you
roll
were
in a
on
way.
fire.
But the last week was kind of slow. Um, I implemented all of the automation triggers for the companies, except for one, which is a little bit more complex, but all others are done. I did a lot of manual testing yesterday. Still discovered a couple problems and fixed them. But in theory, it's good to roll out. Just today, it didn't feel like a good idea to
Yeah.
roll it out yet.
Yeah,
But
just in case you're
there's nothing really stopping me at this point. Um, so that was good. And in addition to that, last week, do you know that like over my development career, I got very um, careful about dependencies. Like at first, like when you start programming, you don't know anything about dependencies, so you build everything yourself.
yeah.
And there
Yes.
comes a phase where you discover, hey, I can just use this stuff and
Yeah.
put bricks together and it just works. And you do that a lot. And then at some point you're like, oh, but I'm super smart. I can do better jobs than all of these package orders. So
Yeah.
you start writing everything yourself again.
Mhm.
And then you realize, okay, you're not smarter than everyone else. Maybe you use dependencies. And these days I'm in a phase where I kind of like dependencies, but then every dependency is a burden that you have to carry with you. And I got into a bit of a problem with our front end code a couple months ago, where I decided that we're using Ember.js for
Yeah.
as a framework for the UI, and it had a super cool feature planned called named blocks, which makes it super easy just to compose components and stuff like that. But it was behind a feature flag on a beta release. But I was like, yeah, super excited. This would solve so many things. So I switched to the beta branch, um, and implemented my cool features and my cool new components. And then they scrapped the feature and didn't release it. So
Oh,
I had done all this work, and yeah, basically was stuck on that beta version. In theory, there was a way to add a polyfill to just like backfill the
okay.
support for
Yep.
that feature.
Yep.
But as I said, dependencies, like the combination of dependencies I was using prevented me from moving to any other versions. And
Yeah.
I was stuck on those, like on the beta version for a while, and like yeah, basically falling behind on a lot of dependencies. And I tried upgrading them a couple of times, and it was always a nightmare. Like stuff started breaking
Yeah.
and everywhere where you didn't think about it.
Yeah.
And last week I gave it a try again to get like off that beta version and into like the stable release path again. And for some reason it just worked. Like I set aside a day basically to figure this out, and it was done after like 30 minutes or so.
Yeah.
So that's something I did. And instead well, now we're on the latest releases of most of the dependencies again, and I'm super
Nice.
glad about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just
Uh,
I hate
I re
that stuff.
yeah, same here, man. I ran into that either last week or the week before, upgrading Tailwind, and then like there was some different version of Post CSS and they weren't working together, and like three of my projects just quit working.
Yeah.
And so just like trying to run down the whole just trying to run through all of that and get it sorted. Do you remember like 3 or 4 years ago when nearly all of NPM went down because that developer who was working on LeftPad just like deleted it or something?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So, I mean, that's the flip side of how easy it is. Like it's pretty easy now, I think, in development compared to like the old days to go from having, 100 users to having 100,000 users. It's easier now than it was then. That
Yeah.
was really hard. But the barrier to just go from 0 to hello world now is so complicated. I think, like, relative to, pull up BB edit, write hello, put in a couple of lines and, FTP commando style to your production server, and it's on the
Yeah.
internet. Like, there's a reason that we got away from that, but the trade-off is that now it's just, it can just turn into just a tangled mess of,
Yeah, for sure.
running libraries down, and it's just no fun. But
No, it isn't. It's funny that you mentioned Post CSS because that's one of the other dependencies that are stuck because like
Yep.
I can't upgrade to the latest Post CSS version because some of the plugins I'm using is kind of abandoned and nobody's looking after it.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it's just so annoying because it just gets you stuck in weird ways that you didn't think about. So yeah, these days, and that's something I did last week, just like looking at the dependencies and like some of them just rip them out. And if it's easy enough to build, it's not super complicated to build. I just these days just build it myself and not use any packages because they they come and hurt
you're not in control. But they are, I mean, when they work, I mean,
when they work, it's great.
Speed up is unreal.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's about it. Like nothing else happened. Well, nothing worth mentioning happened in the last week.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like for me on the bootstrapping side of things, I mean, literally nothing happened. It's funny. We were, getting ready to hit record, and you were like, "Yeah, you have any updates to put in the notes?" Like, actually, I don't. And it feels really, it continues to feel like a relief. Just like not putting the responsibility or burden on myself, or the pressure. I think that's the best word. Just not putting any sort of pressure on myself to try to be figuring these two things out at the same time. How to pay the bills with consulting and bootstrap this a startup solo.
Yeah.
And I feel very relaxed. I think I just need to kind of continue to have many more months, weeks and months of this to refill the tank. And which is, I gotta say, what's the ironic thing about it is I like a ton of people, I feel, the seasons. Like I feel seasonal affect, and am much more likely to be kind of glum and sad and down in the winter months compared to the summer months. So far this year has felt like the exact opposite. Now that the days are shorter, and that when I would normally kind of start to be, yeah, just like slowing down. I feel really uplifted and I feel really good. Um, and so yeah, I'm grateful for all of that. Um, I'm just really leaning into my consulting projects, enjoying those, doing a couple of things, well under my, typical rate, just because they're fun. Um, Doing a little single page app for this board game developer that I reached out to, and I'm probably making like $20 an hour, given how much time I've, given how much time I've spent on it. But it's because it has felt like a fun little project.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, and so it just feels really fulfilling. It feels very refreshing, and so I am just gonna keep going in that direction for a little while here. Hopefully get refueled, and then when the time is right, reassess. What do I want to do?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and we'll see. We'll see. I have no expectations, none.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
But I mean that having no expectations also means you can't get disappointed.
yeah, yeah. Reality minus expectations equals happiness. So, um, I'm currently quite happy. This my this new consulting client that I've got. I'm very optimistic at how it's going, and if it just kind of continues on, and I can and that just becomes like the new anchor client that I keep, in 2021, and into the year on the road,
Yeah.
project, adventure, then cool, because I'll just be continuing to work remotely throughout that whole, you know,
Yeah.
throughout that whole adventure. So,
Nice. Yeah. I'm a little bit jealous, to be honest. Just having some peace of mind sounds like the
well,
thing I could use as well.
it's funny because I mean, definitely, good pieces of me that are jealous that you've got a customer base and, you're working on a product. Like it's, yeah,
Yeah.
it's just man, that's just the funny thing about all of this is, I don't know, there's got to be some in between of, uh, gosh, just it's so hard and so stressful to try to get something going. And then
Yeah.
once you've got it going, it is so hard and stressful to keep it going, and then you have all these employees and families depending on it to keep going.
Yeah.
But none of I mean, we are not wired to just give up and go sit in a cubicle at Oracle. Like,
Yeah. No, that's definitely not
not
me. And
going to happen.
it, it's, I mean, what you're just like saying is, yeah, like had this shower thought this week that um, in a way I'm living the dream, like at
Mm,
least the dream I had a couple years
yeah.
ago, like
Yep.
being full time on my own product and
Yes.
having a customer base and even getting to 5K MRR, or like sounded like super like utopia and dream and wonderland and paradise.
Yeah.
And now that I'm in it, it's not as much fun as I'd hoped it would
Mm,
be, because it's still a lot of work and it's not easy. And to, in a way, like having a customer base, just that's a lot of pressure, because
yeah.
then you have people relying on you
Yep.
on the product, and that stuff works, and that you improve it, and
Yeah.
they have problems that need solving or requirements that you should look into, and
Mhm.
it just adds a lot of pressure that you don't have when nobody is using it, or just like
Yeah.
a handful of people are using it. So
Yeah. I wonder where the sweet spot is between like 0 to 20K MRR, lots of stress, not default alive if you have a co-founder,
yeah.
unless you're like young, unmarried, no kids, and living on ramen. But like if you're further on in your career,
Yeah.
um, then like between 20 and something Is it stressful? Is it stressful now because you're afraid it's going to disappear, and then above a certain point? Yeah, that's I don't know.
Yeah. I guess it's a lot of Jesse Jackson talked about this earlier this year, like just margins and like
Yeah.
you can probably make it stressful, even with more MRR if you had enough employees and like
right.
either way your margins, then I'm sure it will always stay stressful.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
yeah. MRR per employee is like a really good. I wonder if that's a good metric.
Yeah, probably profits per per employee, something like that. Yeah.
Well. Anyway, so that's all to say. I have absolutely no updates, which feels amazing.
Yeah.
So, do we want to? We didn't even talk about this before we hit record, but do we want to take off next week? It'll be before, holiday break, but maybe we'll do next week and then plan on taking a week or two off for the holidays.
That sounds like a great idea. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see.
Let's see.
Let's see how this week goes. If I end up staying in bed the entire week, then probably doesn't make a lot of sense to do an episode next week.
Right.
Do you have updates? No. You have updates?
Okay.
No. Okay.
Right, go back to bed. Yep. Thanks for listening. Do.
Shortest episode ever.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good, man. It's good. Great catching up. I really hope you get feeling better. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Talk next week.
See you. Bye.
Later.